What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder back again with another edition of History You May Not Know and Things That Are Not Taught in Detail for Show. Today's lesson is focused on another one of our icons, Alfonso Alexander Archie, better known as Archie Alexander. Mr. Alexander was born May 14th, 1888. He was an architect and an engineer. He was one of the first Black American graduates to ever graduate from the University of Iowa within the engineering department, who later became a governor in some of our Caribbean islands. Let's talk about this brother for a second. Mr. Alexander was born in Altamont, Iowa. Yes, Black Americans did live in Iowa. Before the Great Migration and different patterns, we lived all across this country. He was the son of Price and Mary Alexander, part of the Black community in the great state of Iowa. He was the eldest of 9 children when his family lived and worked on a farm outside of Des Moines. Price became the head custodian of the Des Moines Most National Bank. Alexander graduated from Oak Park High School in 1905. He then attended Park College and Communist Art College before materializing to the State University, better known as the University of Iowa. He studied engineering. Not only was he a phenomenal engineer at his time, he was the first Black American to graduate from the engineering program as early as 1912. His professors warned him that it would be difficult for him to find work as a Black engineer due to Jim Crow, racism, and other segregation was going on at the time. Mr. Alexander was also a phenomenal football player for the University of Iowa, where he was a 3-time starting tackle and earned the nickname Alexander the Great. Throughout college, Mr. Alexander worked multiple part-time jobs for himself because he had to pay his tuition. He also was a member of the Kappa Psi Eye, and during the summer, he worked as a Marshall Engineer program, a Des Moines company that made significant bridges, which he designed and later worked at the University of Lubbock during his sabbatical. He served as an civil engineering program at Iowa State in 1925. Upon graduation, he worked as a foreman for the Marshall Engineering Company before founding his own engineering company at the age of 26. Alexander's firm, named A.A. Alexander Inc., initially specialized in bridges due to his background and study. He partnered with European-American contractors George E. Higbee for 8 years before Higbee's death. After Higbee's death, Alexander ran the company alone for 4 years. During the projects, he made significant changes to University of Iowa heating and cooling programs. In 1926, he was honored with a Distinguished Businessman Award for his engineering prowess, along with the Kappa Alpha Psi Lifetime Achievement Award. The Kappas knew this brother was elite in what he was doing. In 1929, he took his former classmate, Maurice Repass, as a junior partner and changed the business name to Alexander and Repass. They secured their first multi-million-dollar sewage treatment plant in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Their work was to focus on the bridges, the nations, the sewage plant, and to make the highways more accessible. Later on, he worked on the Extension Parkway. Did you know that? From Baltimore to Washington, D.C. His firm was the one that created the bridges, made the tunnel bypasses, made the construction crews integrated, where he worked and later on built up his company. The Tuskegee Airmen were trained at the facilities that he created in D.C. and other areas. He also partnered to make the National Coach Association for Colored Women. He made them successful by investing in women in over 300 projects. By the time 1925 rolled around, he was given an honorary master's degree because he was so good at engineering. Howard University honored him with a doctorate in engineering in 1946 because he was just that good. His political career came later on, as he was massively successful in his engineering by building the roadway systems, the infrastructure in his country, major U.S. citizen, and developing the roads as he continued to develop. His political career began in 1932 when he served as the assistant chairman to the Iowa Republican State Committee, a position held all the way again in 1940. In 1934, he was investigating a team in which economic development possibilities throughout Haiti. He worked in the Caribbean. He built up Haitian politics post everything that was going on. He worked aggressively with the Eisenhower Proton to bid for the Inner Highway Plan. He saw that African American and Black American communities were being targeted with the Highway Interstation Plan. He tried to make sure that it did not go through Black community, even though he was unsuccessful. He became such a successful politician that the state of the Bahamas knew that he would be the Virgin Islands would get his appointee by Dwight E. Eisenhower. He was the first Republican governor to establish a civil government, even though it was short and controversial. He was highly criticized by making the contracts in St. Thomas to make sure the people were held and always was health concerned. As we continue Mr. Alexander's life, we can see the good things he did. He was a married man, had one child who died as a young child. Alexander died of a heart attack unexpectedly in 1958 in Des Moines, Iowa. He was an engineer, a trailblazer, a businessman, an icon, a specialist, self-taught, educated during the height of racism and Jim Crow, who built himself up to make sure not just him, but other Black Americans who were like-minded engineers had the access, the rights, and the privileges to overachieve and produce during this time. The great Alexander was a man, a legend, and an icon among us. It's your boy, King Crowder, back again. I hope you learned something from today. I hope this information was very helpful. I hope these hidden figures that we do not learn about teach you and show you how powerful many Black Americans are throughout history. Please make sure you subscribe, comment, and like to the channel. And I hope you learned something today and moving forward. Until next time, it's your boy, checking out.